Man, let me tell y'all something. Comfort is one of the most dangerous places a person can live in. I know that sounds crazy. Because everybody wants to be comfortable. We buy comfortable shoes. We want a comfortable couch. We want the air conditioner set just right. We want money so we can live comfortable. But let me tell you the truth. Comfort zones will trick you. Comfort zones will make you think you're okay, when really you're stuck. Comfort zones are like quicksand. You don't even realize you're sinking until life has passed you by. Now, I'm not saying you gotta live in chaos all the time, but if all you ever do is stay in a comfortable place, you're never gonna see the real blessings God put in front of you. Let me give it to you straight. Nothing great has ever come from somebody who just sat in their comfort zone. Nobody changed the world from the couch. Nobody built a business from the bed. Nobody discovered their gift by staying safe. See, your comfort zone is like that little warm blanket you love. It feels good. You don't want to let it go, but the blanket don't move you forward. It just holds you where you are. And let me tell you something. Where you are right now ain't where God wants you to stay. He got bigger plans, but he ain't going to show you until you step out that blanket. I remember back when I first started in comedy. Man, I was scared. I was comfortable with my little job. I had a paycheck. I knew when the money was coming. I knew the routine. It wasn't much, but it was safe. But deep down, I knew I had this gift. God gave me a sense of humor, gave me the ability to make people laugh. Now, if I had stayed in my comfort zone, you wouldn't even know the name Steve Harvey today. I'd probably still be working that safe job, living small, dreaming big, but never chasing it. The first time I stepped on stage, I was shaking. My mouth was dry, my hands sweaty. I didn't know if they was gonna laugh or boo me off. But here's what I learned. Your dreams live on the other side of discomfort. Everything you ever wanted, everything you pray for, everything you're chasing, it ain't safe little circle you call comfort. It's outside of it. And the only way to get it is to be bold enough to step out there. But here's the problem. Most people won't move. You know why? 'Cause comfort feels good. Comfort will whisper to you, don't risk it, don't try it, don't change it. Comfort will keep you in a job you hate, in a relationship you don't belong in a lifestyle that ain't serving you. Comfort is a liar. Comfort is like that friend who never wants to see you win. Because as long as you stay the same, they don't have to feel bad about staying the same too. Think about it. Everything you've ever achieved in your life came when you stepped out of comfort. Learning how to walk as a baby, you fell down 100 times, scraped your knees, cried your eyes out, but you got up. And now you walk. Same thing with learning to ride a bike, learning to drive, going to school, applying for jobs. None of it felt comfortable at first. But once you push through the fear, once you push through the discomfort, that's when the reward came. And it don't stop when you're grown. It don't stop when you hit a certain age. Growth never stops unless you decide to stop stepping out of your comfort zone. You want to know the fastest way to kill your dream? Stay comfortable. Play it safe. Do the bare minimum. Sit around and wait for life to hand you something. But let me promise you, life don't hand out greatness. Life only gives greatness to the ones who are willing to get uncomfortable. Now don't confuse comfort with peace. Peace is what you need for your soul. Comfort is what your fear tells you to stay in. Peace comes when you know you're walking in your purpose, even if it's hard. Comfort comes when you're avoiding your purpose because you don't want the challenge. See the difference? I know some of y'all sitting here thinking, Steve, I hear you, but it's hard. I don't like failing. I don't like the unknown. Let me tell you this. Everybody who has ever been great has failed. Everybody who has ever been great has been scared. Everybody who has ever been great has faced the unknown. The difference is, they didn't let comfort hold them back. They decided the dream was worth the risk. I'm telling you right now, God didn't design you to live a small, comfortable life. He gave you a gift, and that gift was not meant to sit in a safe little bubble. That gift was meant to stretch you, to challenge you, to push you into rooms you never thought you'd be in. But you'll never get there until you stop letting comfort call the shots. So the next time you feel fear, the next time you feel uncomfortable, the next time you feel like, man, I don't know if I can do this. I want you to remember, that's the sign you're on the right track. That's the sign you're about to grow. Because growth and comfort cannot live in the same space. If you want growth, you got to give up comfort. And if you want comfort, you got to give up growth. The choice is yours. But let me leave you with this. Comfort will give you a paycheck, but discomfort can give you a legacy. Comfort will give you a safe life, but discomfort can give you an extraordinary life. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather live extraordinary. Let me break something down for y'all, because a lot of people get this part wrong. Fear ain't your enemy. Fear is not the signal to stop. Oh, no. Fear is the signal that you're headed in the right direction. See, everybody thinks if they're scared of something, that means they shouldn't do it. But let me tell you, if your dream don't scare you, it ain't big enough. If your next step don't make your knees shake a little bit, you're still playing it too safe. Listen, fear is a part of growth. Fear shows up whenever you're about to do something that hurts. Think about it. When you was a kid and you stood on the edge of the diving board, ready to jump into the pool for the first time, your stomach was tight, your hands were sweaty, your heart was pounding. That was fear. And the second you jumped in, you realized, oh, I can do this. That's how life works. Every time you're standing on the edge of something big, fear shows up. But it ain't there to stop you. It's there to tell you, this is it. This is the step that's going to change everything. See, most people let fear paralyze them. They hear that little voice in their head that says, what if you fail? What if you look stupid? What if they laugh at you? And then they back up off the diving board and walk away. But the successful ones, the great ones, they hear that same voice and they jump anyway. They say, I'd rather find out than live the rest of my life wondering what if. I can tell you from my own life, fear has been standing at every doorway I've ever walked through. The first time I walked onto a stage to do stand-up, I was terrified. Man, I'm talking about, I was shaking. My voice was cracking, my legs was weak. But when I stepped out there and told that first joke, and people laughed, I realized fear was just smoke. It looked big, it felt heavy. But once you step through it, there ain't nothing behind it but opportunity. And it don't stop at the beginning. Even when I started getting on TV, I was scared. You think hosting a Family Feud wasn't scary at first? Millions of people watching me, judging me, waiting for me to mess up. That fear was real. But here's what I learned. Fear is like a sign on the highway. It's telling you, this is the road where you're supposed to go. If you keep driving on the road with no fear, you're probably headed somewhere small. But when you see fear show up, buckle up because you're headed somewhere big. You know why fear shows up? Because your dream is bigger than your current capacity. Fear is your body's way of saying, man, I don't know if we're ready for this. But that's the whole point. You ain't supposed to be ready. You're supposed to grow into it. God don't give you dreams that match your comfort. He gives you dreams that stretch you, that scare you, that make you lean on him. And what's any? So let me ask you this. What are you afraid of right now? Starting that business? Quitting that job? Talking to that person? Writing that book? Going back to school? Whatever it is, let me promise you this. If you're scared of it, it probably means it's tied to your destiny. And if you let fear win, you're going to spend the rest of your life living beneath your potential. Let me tell you something about fear. It never leaves. Stop waiting for it to go away. Stop waiting to feel ready. Ready is a myth. If you wait until you feel ready, you'll be waiting until the day you die. I don't know this. You gotta move scared. You gotta walk nervous. You gotta step forward with your knees knocking and your heart racing. That's the only way to do it. And here's the crazy thing. Once you do it, the fear shrinks. You look back and say, oh, why was I even so scared of that? But by then, you've already grown. You've already stepped into a bigger version of yourself. That's how it works. You face the fear. You level up. Then a new fear shows up, and you face that one, and you level up again. That's how ordinary people become extraordinary. Let me drop this on you. Fear is the price you pay for progress. Everybody wants to progress, but nobody wants to pay the price. Well, the bill is fear. The question is, are you willing to pay it? So the next time you feel fear, don't run from it. Don't let it stop you. Smile at it. Say, okay, I see you. You here because I'm about to step into something bigger. Let that fear be confirmation, not cancellation. Let it tell you you're on the right track. Because here's the truth. If you're living without fear, you're living without growth. And if you're living without growth, you're not really living. You're just existing. And I don't know about you, but I refuse to just exist. I want to live. I want to stretch. I want to leave something behind. And that means I got to dance with fear every single time I move to the next level. So remember this. Fear don't mean stop. Fear don't mean quit. Fear don't mean you ain't capable. Fear simply means this is it. This is where the magic happens. Step forward, scared and all, and watch how God shows up in ways you couldn't even imagine. Let me be as real as I can with you. Everybody wants success. Everybody wants the car, the house, the bank account, the freedom, the applause. But here's the thing most people don't want to hear. Success requires sacrifice, period. Ain't no shortcut, ain't no magic trick, ain't no secret formula. If you want to be successful, you're going to have to give something up. See, we live in a world now where people want success, but they want it while staying comfortable. They want it without missing sleep, without losing friends, without being uncomfortable, without failing. But life don't work like that. Success is like a scale. If you put success on one side, you gotta balance it with sacrifice on the other side. No sacrifice, no balance, no success. I had to sacrifice a whole lot to get where I am today. When I was chasing comedy, I didn't have a steady paycheck. I didn't have stability. Sometimes I didn't even know where I was going to sleep that night. I slept in my car for 3 years, man. That's sacrifice. I gave up comfort. I gave up comfort. I gave up being a norm. But if I hadn't made those sacrifices, I'd still be sitting somewhere telling jokes at the water cooler instead of standing on stages all around the world. Now, let me tell you something. Sacrifice ain't always about money. Sometimes it's your time. You can't binge watch Netflix for 6 hours a night and then wonder why your dreams ain't working. You can't go out to every party, every weekend, and then ask why your business ain't growing. You gotta sacrifice fun for focus. You gotta sacrifice now so you can shine later. That's the truth. And sometimes the hardest sacrifice is people. Listen to me. Everybody can't go with you. I know that hurts, but it's real. Some of the folks you're hanging with right now, they're only comfortable with the version of you they already know. They don't want to see you change, because then they gotta look at themselves. And if you keep holding on to people who don't push you forward, you're sacrificing your dream for their comfort. Do I sacrifice my future for them? Or do I sacrifice them for my future? Sacrifice is also about ego. You gotta be willing to look stupid, willing to fail, willing to start small. Too many people's pride is in the way of their blessing. They don't want to take the entry-level job. They don't want to start the business from their garage. They don't want to post their first video with only 12 views. 12 views. Man, if I had let my pride stop me, I'd still be broke. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice your ego to build your empire. Let me ask you something. What are you willing to give up for what you say you want? Because talk is cheap. Everybody talks about how they want success, but when it comes time to put something on the altar, they back out. They want success, but they want to sleep in. They want success, but they don't want to study, don't want to grind, don't want to be told no. Well, let me tell you something. If you're not willing to sacrifice, success will never show up. Now, here's the beauty of sacrifice. It's temporary. That's the part people forget. You might have to sacrifice sleep for a season, but once you build it, you can rest later. You might have to sacrifice parties now, but you can throw the biggest party of your life when you make it. You might have to sacrifice being liked by everybody, but once you succeed, you'll realize the right people, the ones who matter, go and respect you. But if you never sacrifice, you'll always live with regret. And regret costs more than sacrifice. Sacrifice hurts in the short term, but regret will eat you alive for the rest of your life. You don't want to be 60 years old, sitting on the porch, saying, "Oh man, I wish I'd gone for it. I wish I had given it a shot." It's a heavy price to pay. So let me make it plain. Success ain't free. It's gonna cost you something. It might cost you sleep. It might cost you time. It might cost you money. It might cost you relationships. It might cost you comfort. But if you pay the price, success will pay you back 10 times over. Think about it like this. When you go to the store and see something you really want, you don't get mad because the price tag is there. You don't say, "Oh, why are they charging me for this?" You know if you want it, you gotta pay. Same thing with success. Stop complaining about the price and start asking yourself, am I willing to pay it? The Bible says faith without works is dead. You can pray for success. You can dream about success. But if you're not willing to sacrifice for it, it's dead. Nothing's gonna happen. So the next time you find yourself choosing between comfort and sacrifice, remember this. Comfort will keep you where you are. Sacrifice will take you where you're supposed to be. And trust me, The view on the other side of sacrifice is worth every sleepless night, every hard decision, every lonely season. Because here's the truth. Success don't come to the most talented. It don't come to the luckiest. It don't even come to the smartest. Success comes to the ones willing to sacrifice for it. Let me tell you something that most folks don't want to hear. Every single dream you ever chase in your life is going to demand discomfort before it gives you a reward. That's the rule. Ain't no way around it. You can pray about it. You can wish about it. You can even try to shortcut it. But the truth is, dreams don't come dressed up in ease. They come wrapped in hard work, long nights, setbacks, and moments when you think you're gonna break. Everybody wants a dream, but don't nobody want the discomfort. People look at successful folks and see the cars, the money, the fame, the freedom. What they don't see is the grind, the tears, the failures, the loneliness, the rejection, the days when you doubted yourself so bad you wanted to quit. That's the price tag dreams come with. And if you ain't willing to pay in discomfort, you'll never hold the reward. Look, I don't care who you are, God designed life in such a way that discomfort comes before destiny. A seed gotta get buried in the dirt before it becomes a tree. A diamond gotta go through pressure before it shines. Gold gotta go through fire before it becomes pure. So what makes you think your dream gonna be different? You want the blessing, but you don't want the breaking. But baby, you can't skip the breaking. When I first started chasing comedy, I can't even leave. It was rough. I told y'all before, I lived in my car for 3 years. You think that was comfortable? Man, some nights I was so cold, I had to put newspapers in my clothes just to stay warm. Some nights I didn't even know where my next meal was coming from. That was discomfort. But do you know what? Every one of those nights was God stretching me. Every one of those moments was preparing me for the stage He was building for me. Without that discomfort, I wouldn't appreciate the reward. See, the problem is most folks quit during the discomfort stage. They think, well, maybe this dream ain't for me. Maybe God didn't really call me to this. Maybe I should just stay where it's safe. No, the discomfort is not a sign to quit. It's a sign you're on the right road. It means you're growing. It means you're getting ready. It means the reward is up ahead. But if you quit during discomfort, you'll never get to see it. Think about a woman giving birth. The discomfort is real. Pain, pressure, struggle. But you know what comes after that? Life, a baby, a miracle. And when that baby's in her arms, the pain don't even matter anymore. That's how dreams work. Do a Satorga. You're gonna cry, you're gonna sweat, you're gonna hurt. But when the reward shows up, it'll make every bit of discomfort worth it. Now, let me be clear. Discomfort don't mean disaster. Sometimes people confuse the two. Disaster is destruction. Discomfort is construction. Discomfort is building you, shaping you, stretching you. Discomfort is God's gym. He's putting weight on you so you can build the muscles you need for the dream you asked Him for. If you avoid the gym, you stay weak. If you embrace the workout, you get strong enough to handle the blessing. And don't you dare think you're the only one going through discomfort. Every single person you admire, every single success story you know, has a discomfort chapter in their book. Oprah got fired from her first TV job. Michael Jordan got cut from his high school team. Walt Disney got told he had no imagination. They all went through discomfort before they ever tasted reward. That's the universal law of dreams. So, here's the question. Are you willing to sit in the discomfort long enough to get to the reward? Or are you gonna quit when it gets tough? 'Cause I promise you, the reward don't come to the ones who avoid the pain. It comes to the ones who endure it. Let me put it like this. Discomfort is the down payment on your dream. You don't get to move into the house of success without paying something up front. You gotta cry some tears. You gotta face some failures. You gotta lose some friends. You gotta hear some no's. That's the down payment. But once you pay it, the house is yours. The dream becomes reality. And here's the best part. The discomfort is temporary, but the reward is permanent. Those sleepless nights, those failures, those struggles, they gon' pass. But the dream you build, the legacy you leave, the life you create, that stays. That's what makes it worth it. So the next time you find yourself in a season of discomfort, don't run. Don't hide. Don't complain. Lift your head up and remind yourself, this is just part of the process. This pain is proof that the reward is on the way. Because here's the truth. If you ain't willing to be uncomfortable for a while, you'll be stuck being unsatisfied for a lifetime. But if you're willing to push through the discomfort, you'll live a life you don't need a vacation from. Every dream demands discomfort before reward. That's the deal. The only question is, are you willing to sign your name on it? Let me tell you something. Right now, failure ain't the opposite of success. Failure is the admission price. It's the tuition you gotta pay to enroll in the school of greatness. And just like college, it ain't cheap. But if you don't pay it, you don't get in. Period. Now, a lot of people got the wrong idea about failure. They think failure means they're not good enough. They think it means God didn't give them the gift. They think it's a stop sign. But failure ain't no stop sign. Failure is a lesson. It's a teacher. Failure is life's way of saying, okay, that didn't work. Now try again, smarter. See, you can't skip failure and expect to win big. You gotta fall down, scrape your knees, lose some money, embarrass yourself, get rejected, get told a no 1,000 times. That's the tuition. Every no you hear, every setback you face, every plan that falls apart, that's all a part of the fee you pay. And let me tell you something, once you pay enough tuition, success shows up with your degree in hand. Look at my life. Y'all see me now. TV shows, comedy tours, books, money. But what you don't see is how many times I bombed on stage. Man, let me tell you, some of my early nights in comedy were straight up disasters. I got booed. I froze. I told jokes that didn't land at all. One night I thought I had the best routine, and then people just stared at me like I was speaking another language. That's failure. But if I had quit after that, you'd never know the name Steve Harvey. And it wasn't just comedy. Business deals failed. Relationships failed. Opportunities fell apart. I've had doors slammed in my face. I've had folks tell me flat out, you ain't gonna make it. But every single one of those failures was tuition. Every one of them taught me something I needed to know for the next level. Let me break it down like this. Imagine you try to build a business and it fails. Most people will say, oh well, that's it, I ain't cut out for this. No, what you really did was pay for an education. You learned what don't work. You learned how not to do it. And if you're smart, you're gonna take those lessons and build something even stronger the next time. Failure is just feedback. That's all it is. But the problem is, most people don't stick around long enough to cash in on the feedback. They fail once and they quit. That's like paying one semester of college tuition, dropping out, and then saying, oh, college don't work. No, fool, you just didn't finish the program. Here's the truth, failure hurts. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. It's embarrassing, it's painful. It can make you feel like you're worthless. But that pain is part of the process. You don't grow from winning all the time. You grow from falling and getting back up. You grow from figuring out why you fell and making sure you don't fall the same way again. Think about some of the greatest people in history. Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times before he got the light bulb to work. 1,000. Imagine if he had quit at 999. Michael Jordan missed more shots than most players even take, but he kept shooting. And now he's the greatest. Oprah got fired from her first TV job. Walt Disney went bankrupt. Failure is the common thread in every success story you've ever heard. Why? Because failure is the tuition for greatness. Now, I know some of y'all might be scared of failing. You don't want to look stupid. You don't want to hear people say, see, I told you so. But let me help you. Those people gon' talk whether you fail or not. So you might as well fail your way forward into something great. At least then, you're moving toward your dream instead of sitting in comfort worrying about opinions. Failure also humbles you. It makes sure your character can handle the success when it comes. 'Cause here's the truth. If you can't survive failure, you can't survive success. Success comes with pressure, responsibility, eyes on you, expectations. Failure toughens you up so you can carry all that when the blessing arrives. So the next time you fail, don't you dare hang your head like it's over. Lift your chin and say, okay, that's tuition. That's a lesson. Let me cash this in and go again. 'Cause if you're failing, that means you're trying. And if you keep trying, you gon' get there. Listen, greatness is expensive. You don't get it on discount. You don't get it in clearance. You don't get it on sale. You gotta pay full price. And the currency is failure. But let me tell you, the payout is worth it. Once you walk across that stage of success with your degree in hand, you're gonna look back at every failure and say, oh, thank God I didn't quit. Failure ain't final. Failure is just the tuition you pay for greatness. The only way you truly fail is if you stop paying. Go! Let me tell you something that'll change how you look at your life. God didn't put your gift inside your comfort zone. No, he didn't. He placed it in place where you gotta stretch, where you gotta walk by faith and not by sight. That's why so many people never discover their true gift, because they too scared to step out of what's comfortable. Now listen, everybody's got a gift. Don't let nobody tell you different. God didn't create you just to pay bills and die. He put something special inside you. Some of y'all can sing, some of y'all can cook, some of y'all can lead, some of y'all can fix anything, some of y'all got a gift for encouraging people, some of y'all can sell anything. That's your gift. But here's the catch. Your gift is not in your comfort zone. If you think about it, comfort is man-made. It's your routine. It's your habits. It's that safe little circle you draw around yourself. But gifts are God-made. And God don't work in the box you made for yourself. He works outside the box, outside the comfort, outside the predictable. That's why when you step into your gift, it feels scary at first. It feels risky. It feels like, oh man, what am I doing out here? That's how you know it's God. I remember when I was still working them little jobs, just trying to make ends meet. I was comfortable in one sense. I knew what time to clock in. I knew what time I was going home. I knew what my paycheck was going to look like. But deep down, I was miserable. I knew God had given me the gift to make people laugh. I could make a room light up just by opening my mouth. But you think that gift was inside the comfort of that job? No, sir. That gift was waiting for me on a stage in front of strangers with no safety net. I had to step out of my comfort zone before I could even touch it. See, God ain't interested in you being comfortable. He's interested in you fulfilling your purpose, and purpose will always pull you out of comfort. Think about Moses, comfortable in the desert until God said, "Go free my people." Think about David, comfortable watching sheep until God called him to fight Goliath. Think about Jesus. He left heaven, the most comfortable place you can imagine, to come down here and save us. If comfort was the goal, none of them would have done anything great. And that's what God is telling you. I didn't hide your gift in the easy place. I hid in the uncomfortable place, so when you find it, you'll know it was me. See, when you step into your gift, it forces you to rely on Him. It forces you to pray harder, to believe bigger, to walk stronger. That's why it ain't in your comfort zone, because in your comfort zone, you don't need faith. But outside of it, faith is all you got. Now, some of y'all wonder why you feel stuck, why life feels boring, why nothing excites you. It's because you're living in comfort, not in your gift. Comfort might pay the bills, but it don't feed your soul. Your gift is what lights you up, what makes you feel alive, what connects you to God's purpose for you. But here's the thing, you gotta have the courage to go get it. God gave it to you, but He ain't gonna force you to use it. He gave you free will. You gotta make the move. You gotta say, I'm willing to leave comfort behind to step into what you created me for. And when you do, He gonna open doors you couldn't open. He gonna send people you couldn't find. He gonna make ways you couldn't see. And don't think your gift gotta be big in the world's eyes. Some of the most powerful gifts don't get applause. A teacher changing lives in the classroom. A single mama raising her kids with strength and love. A nurse who cares for patients with compassion. That's all gift. And none of that gift lives inside comfort. It lives in sacrifice, in faith, in courage. But after you take that step, something inside you wakes up. It's like your soul says, finally, this is what we were born to do. And that feeling beats any comfort you ever had. So stop waiting for God to put the blessing in your lap while you sit on the couch. That ain't how He works. He already gave you the gift. You just gotta step into the place He put it. And it ain't in your comfort zone. Here's the truth. Comfort keeps you small, but your gift makes you great. Comfort pays you a wage, but your gift gives you a calling. Comfort keeps you predictable, but your gift makes you unforgettable. So the question is, are you going to stay in your comfort zone and waste the gift God gave you? Or are you going to step out in faith, trust Him, and let that gift take you where you were meant to go? Because I promise you, once you start living in your gift, comfort won't even matter anymore. You'll realize you were created for more, and you'll never settle for less again. Let me tell you something about people. Most of the folks who doubt you, who laugh at your dreams, who tell you, man, that's impossible, or that ain't gonna work, they saying that because they stuck in their own comfort zones. That's it. It ain't about you. It's about them. See, when people can't see themselves doing something, they automatically assume you can't do it either. That's how the human mind works. When it's locked up in comfort, they look at life through the lens of their own fear, their own limits, their own small circle. And when they see you trying to break out, it threatens them. Because if you break out, it makes them face the truth. They could have done more with their lives too, but they didn't. Now, I've been told a no more times than I can count. I've been laughed off stages, been told I wasn't funny enough, been told I wasn't smart enough, been told I wasn't ready. But here's what I learned. Their doubt don't define me. Their doubt only shows me where they are, not where I'm going. And if I had listened to them, I'd still be stuck at them little jobs, working paycheck to paycheck, wondering what could have been. You gotta stop letting small minds talk you out of big dreams. If somebody has never left their comfort zone, they can't teach you how to leave yours. It's like asking somebody who never swam to teach you how to swim. They're gonna drown you both. That's why you can't put too much weight on the opinions of people who ain't never stepped out. And here's another truth. Sometimes the doubters are the people closest to you. Family, friends, co-workers. Not because they hate you, but because they don't want you to get hurt. They think they're protecting you. But what they don't realize is they're holding you back. They're giving you advice from inside their comfort zone, and you trying to live outside of it. I remember when I told folks I wanted to be a comedian. Man, the looks I got. Some people laughed. Some people said, "You crazy. You got kids. You got bills. You need a real job." You know why they said that? Because to them, a real job was comfort, that steady check, that routine, that safe little box. But I wasn't built for that. God didn't give me a gift to stay stuck in somebody else's comfort definition. Listen, when people doubt you, don't argue. Don't waste your time trying to convince them. Because most of the time, they ain't doubting the dream. They doubt themselves. Oh, and their comfort zone won't let them see past their own fear. Let them talk, let them doubt, let them stay where they are. You just keep moving. Think about all the greats. Oprah, Michael Jordan, Steve Jobs, Tyler Perry, Elon Musk. Every single one of them had doubters. People who said that'll never work. People who laughed. People who told them to quit. But you know what? Those same doubters ended up watching them on TV, buying tickets to their games, using their iPhones, riding in their cars. Because when you prove doubt wrong, success gets the last laugh. Fred F. Now don't get it twisted. Doubt hurts. It stings when people you care about don't believe in you. But that pain can be fuel. Instead of letting it stop you, let it push you. Let it light a fire in you. Let it make you say, "All right, you don't believe me? Watch this." Because sometimes the best revenge is success. And let me add this, don't ever let somebody else's comfort zone become your prison. Just because they're afraid don't mean you gotta be. Just because they're comfortable doesn't mean you should settle. You got your own path, your own calling, your own gift. And if God put it in your heart, it ain't up for debate. People gon' doubt you until you give them something they can't deny. And even then, some will still find excuses. But here's the beauty. You don't need everybody to believe in you. You just need you to believe in you. You and God, that's the majority. That's enough. So the next time somebody doubts you, smile, because that means you're doing something they don't understand. You're stepping where they won't step. You're chasing what they won't chase. And when you finally make it, and you won't, they're going to remember all them times they told you no. And they're going to wish they had stepped out too. At the end of the day, doubters are just spectators. They sit in the stands, eating popcorn, critiquing the players on the field. But they don't know the sweat, the grind, the faith it takes to be on that field. Don't take your advice from spectators. Take it from players, from people who've been where you're going. Remember this, if everybody believes in your dream, it probably ain't big enough. Doubt is part of the process. It's confirmation that you're stepping out of comfort into greatness. So stop worrying about who doubts you. Start focusing on proving yourself right. Because when you live in your gift, when you break free from comfort, the same people who doubted you gonna say, "Oh man, I always knew you could do it." And you just smile, because deep down, you know the truth. They couldn't see it, because they never left their comfort zone. Let me break this down plain and simple. Ordinary people do extraordinary things when they step out of their comfort zones. That's the whole secret. Ain't no magic trick. Ain't no shortcut. It's just regular people, like you and me deciding, you know what? I'm not going to sit here safe no more. I'm going to step out, take the risk, and see what happens. See, most people think extraordinary folks are born different. They think Michael Jordan came out the womb dunking. They think Oprah just popped up with her own talk show. Fool! They think Tyler Perry woke up with $1 billion in his bank account. No. All of them started ordinary. But what made them extraordinary is they refused to stay in their comfort zone. You know what the comfort zone really is? It's like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it don't take you nowhere. You rock back and forth. You feel like you're moving, but in reality, you stuck in the same spot. That's how most people live. They rocking their whole life away in comfort, but never moving into extraordinary. And here's the truth. Extraordinary don't feel good in the beginning. It feels scary. It feels uncomfortable. It feels like, oh man, I might fall flat on my face. But that's exactly why it works. Because extraordinary lives on the other side of ordinary fear. Fear. I remember when I was just a regular dude, broke, sleeping in my car, trying to chase this dream of comedy. Ordinary situation, right? But I said to myself, I can't stay ordinary. I gotta try something extraordinary. Now I didn't know how it was gonna work. I didn't have no blueprint. All I had was faith. But the moment I stepped out, man, everything started changing. Doors opened I didn't even knock on. People showed up I didn't even ask for. And little by little, that ordinary broke boy turned into somebody extraordinary. Not because I was special, but because I left the comfort zone. Now, let me talk to you straight. You ain't gotta be rich. You ain't gotta be famous. You ain't gotta be a celebrity to do extraordinary things. Extraordinary is raising your kids right in a world that's trying to pull them left. Extraordinary is starting that little business in your garage when people laugh at you, then watching it grow. Extraordinary is deciding to get up after life knocked you down when everybody else thought you were finished. That's extraordinary. See, ordinary people get stuck asking, what if I fail? But extraordinary people ask, what if I fly? Ordinary people play not to lose. Extraordinary people play to win. Ordinary people wait for the perfect moment. Extraordinary people make the moment perfect. And let me tell you this, God specializes in using ordinary people for extraordinary purposes. He took a shepherd boy and made him a king. He took a fisherman and made him an apostle. He took a kid from the projects, put him on TV around the world. That's his pattern. He takes ordinary and breathes extraordinary into it. But the key, you gotta step out. You gotta move. You gotta trust him enough to leave what's safe. Now don't think extraordinary means easy. It don't. Extraordinary comes with pressure. It comes with challenges. It comes with nights you want to quit, days you doubt yourself. But let me remind you, diamonds don't form in comfort. They form under pressure. Butterflies don't fly in comfort. They come out of a cocoon, struggling their way into beauty. Your extraordinary won't come without struggle, but it'll be worth it. And let me add this, extraordinary is not just about you. When you step out, when you break free, you inspire other people to do the same. Your courage gives somebody else permission to chase their dream. Your story tells somebody, if they can do it, so can I. That's the ripple effect of extraordinary. So ask yourself right now, are you satisfied being ordinary? Are you cool rocking in that chair, moving but going nowhere? Or are you ready to break free, to step out, to be the extraordinary version of who God made you to be? Because I promise you, the only difference between the life you have and the life you want is one brave step outside your comfort zone. Just one. And once you take that step, the ordinary is gone forever. Extraordinary is waiting on you. And I don't care how old you are, where you came from, what mistakes you made, or what people said. It's sitting on the other side of comfort saying, come get me. The question is, are you gonna go get it?